Senator from Hawaii.
Mr. President, as we finally begin negotiations on the next COVID bill, I note that Democrats were ready to come to the table with a sense of urgency at least 2 months ago when the House passed the HEROES Act. Mr. President, before I begin my remarks on education today, I want to pay tribute to the life and work of an extraordinary public servant, my friend, Congressman John Lewis. John was a remarkable man whose deep convictions and concerted actions made an indelible mark on American history. And we could certainly spend hours chronicling his contributions to public life. From his speech at the March on Washington and the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge on Bloody Sunday, to his leadership on gun safety, civil rights, and voting rights during his time in Congress. John meant so much to our country, but he also meant a lot to each of us who had the privilege to call him a friend and colleague. Almost everyone who served with John in his 30-plus decades in the House has a story or two to tell. I certainly do. I fondly remember traveling with John to Ireland as part of a Peace and Reconciliation Summit organized by the Faith and Politics Institute in 2014. During our trip, I remember how young Irish activists connected with John's powerful work as a civil rights leader committed to nonviolent resistance to oppression and peaceful reconciliation. The following year, I proudly marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge with John to mark the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. One of the most cherished pictures in my office is one of John, me, and the late Hawaii Congressman Mark Takai. From that day, and we were all wearing lei flown from Hawaii. Mark, who we also lost too soon to pancreatic cancer 4 years ago, and I organized the delivery of hundreds of lei that day to commemorate the gift from Hawaii's Reverend Abraham Akaka to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 50 years ago for the 3rd March in Selma. News footage from that time showed Dr. King and other leaders wearing the white carnation lei sent by Reverend Akaka, the brother of the late Senator Dan Akaka. Over the years, that photo of the three of us in our fresh lei has always brought a smile to my face. I know many of my colleagues have similar stories to share, and it's been meaningful to hear so many people on both sides of the aisle recognize John's life and work in statements and speeches. It is certainly appropriate to honor John with our words, but it would be better if we honored John through our actions. Because while John was certainly a gifted orator, he was also a man of action, of good trouble. The best way for us to honor John's extraordinary life's work would be for the Senate to vote on and pass the Voting Rights Advancement Act, now renamed in John's honor. Action, not just words.